What's up guys, it's T-Ball and I am back with another video. Before I start, if you guys could leave a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, your support is greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you're not subbed, be sure to hit that sub button and turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. So today we're going to be going over why a CP3 and James Harden backcourt will not work out. So for a quick background, if you haven't heard the news already, Chris Paul has been traded to the Houston Rockets for Patrick Beverley, Sam Dekker, Lou Williams, and a protected 2018 first-round draft pick from Houston. It is top 3 protected, but I do not think that is really necessary as I'm pretty sure the Rockets will make the playoffs next season. And also CP3 did in fact opt in to his contract, the last year of his contract, and he did not re-sign or sign a max deal. This will cost Paul about $11 million next season. But I think it might be a smart decision to actually do this because, say, if Paul does not fit with the Rockets or next to James Harden, which I think is a strong possibility, he can just leave next year and sign with a team that better suits his playing style. So I also want to go over the fact that it actually was, possibly a good decision that the Rockets did trade all those guys from Beverly to Dekker to Lou Will. As the Rockets will free up a little cap space, they will have a trade exception, I'm pretty sure. And this extra cap space will be used for possibly Paul George, Blake Griffin, etc. Maybe Paul Millsap as well. So the Rockets are still trying to find that third superstar to pair with James Harden and now Chris Paul. However, they would also need to get rid of some other contracts. For example, Ryan Anderson, who is making $20 million a year, which was a terrible deal for the Rockets to do. Yes, he does fit their system, but $20 million for a guy who is a 6'10 power forward and all he can do is shoot and play no defense, that was not a smart deal. And if they do want to get rid of Anderson, it seems like they would have to attach an asset, possibly a future first round pick, to go along with Anderson so a team would be willing to accept his large salary. So let's just get straight into why CP3 and Harden will not fit together. First off, I want to say that it is possible those two can work together, but I don't think it's going to be very likely. Why I say this is because of the Rockets' past point guards that were ball dominant and played with Harden. So first off, if you guys remember, in the 2012 offseason, the Rockets signed Jeremy Lin, who is a ball dominant point guard. Now he can play off ball very well, but back then he was more of a ball dominant point guard who wasn't much of an off ball player. And when Lin signed with Houston, he was supposed to be their main guy, the guy who would have the ball at all times in his hands. But once the Rockets traded for Harden, Lin was regulated to become a off-ball player. And in the beginning of the season, he struggled a little bit with his shot, but eventually Lin worked hard over the All-Star break. He worked on his shot, and he eventually got his three-point shot specifically to 40% shooting. And eventually the next season, Lin was demoted to 6th man even after all the hard work he put in, and that's because the Rockets believe Patrick Beverley was a better fit next to Harden, as Beverley is more of a guy who doesn't need the ball in his hands and all he really does is shoot threes and play good defense. And in the 2015 offseason, the Rockets traded for Ty Lawson, who is yet another ball dominant point guard, and coming off a season where he averaged about 15 points and 10 assists a game, Ty Lawson struggled to fit next to Harden, and he went on to average about, I want to say it was around 8 points and 4 to 5 assists per game. He struggled mightily playing next to Harden. His shooting splits dropped dramatically, and eventually he was actually waived, and he signed with the Pacers, and now last year he was on the Kings, and he was decent, I guess, there as a backup point guard. But playing next to Harden really destroyed his career, and now he's just trying to work his way back up to see if he can get a starting spot. Now, this shows that two ball-dominant point guards, Lin and Lawson, at that time of their respective careers, it's very difficult to transition to play off-ball like they both try to do. And it's going to be very difficult for CP3 to do that as well, as throughout his career, he has been the main ball handler. He's been the main distributor. He sets up plays for everybody else, and Harden in Houston is now the main ball handler. Actually, he was very good in that. In fact, he did average over 11 assists per game. But it's going to be a struggle for Chris Paul to transition as for any ball dominant point guard. And it's going to be interesting to see how he will fit next to Harden. I mean, definitely Paul will still be able to make plays and hold the ball a lot as well. He's going to definitely have, at least a decent usage rate, but it's going to be a huge transition, as I said multiple times, for Chris Paul. And I'm not sure if he realizes this, but, hopefully he does, as he's going to have to put in a lot of work as being more of an off-ball player in Houston. However, it is possible for Chris Paul to make this transition, especially considering the fact that he shot 41.1% from three-point range last season. So Paul can wait in the corner or behind the three-point line for Harden's kickouts for threes. But doing this will really diminish Chris Paul's best asset of his game, which is being a distributor for others, as it will most likely be that James Harden is the main ball handler in Houston, even with Chris Paul being there as well. So it's also possible that D'Antoni makes a scheme in the offense that will let Chris Paul and James Harden split duties at least pretty evenly on being a distributor. But it's going to be, a big challenge for D'Antoni, even though he is an offensive genius. And if anyone can find a way to make those two guys fit, it's going to be him. So we'll see with that. Also, I want to point out for both guys, their stats are going to drop dramatically, I think. Or not too dramatically, but, quite a bit. So if you guys do fantasy basketball, be wary of that. Also, I will say the Rockets will miss Patrick Beverley's great defense. If you guys didn't hear me before, Beverley was a part of the trade, and he's going to the Clippers now. And even though Chris Paul is a great defender as well, he's not the type of on-ball, tenacious defender Beverley is. So that's a wrap. Thanks guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I will be putting out some great content throughout the rest of the NBA offseason and regular season and so forth. So once again, thanks for watching, and be sure to leave your comments down in the comment section below. I will try to get back to all of you guys, as I love interacting with you guys. So I hope you guys all have a great one, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.